Welcome to the presentation on basketball sport-specific training. Some topics of discussion include biomechanics, sport demands, common injuries, and prevention. Biomechanics, energy transfer from the lower body to the upper body. So looking at photo 1 there, you'll see that transfer comes from the legs through the lower body. So you're going to see that triple extension with the hips, knees, and ankles all extending. That force transfers from the legs through the core into the arms. We're going to see that extension with that wrist flexion at the end to provide some spin and a little bit more power on that. Force production and absorption. So within the sport, there's a lot of jumping and landing, and the athlete has to be able to produce force from awkward positions and different angles while also landing in awkward positions. Frequent forearm and wrist flexion. So with a lot of passing and shooting, you're going to see the flick of that wrist producing a little bit more power and ensuring that it's a nice accurate pass. So that's something that they have to be able to do. And then we're going to look at consistent cutting and change of direction. So you look in photo 2 there, you're going to see quite a bit of loading on that single leg as that player is looking to cut towards that right side. So that's something that they'll have to be able to do, is get into deep lateral lunges and ensure that they're able to produce force out of that position, and then also be able to absorb the force from high speed cutting. Sport demands. So some physical demands, we're going to look at anaerobic capacity and aerobic endurance. So within the sport of basketball, we have 4 12-minute quarters. So that makes for a total of a 48-minute long game. Within that, while there are some subs that will be being made, you're going to have to be able to efficiently produce high amounts of force and power throughout that entire time that you're on the court there. So you're looking at being able to expel a lot of energy within short periods of time and short bursts, but also be able to keep that up for the entirety of the game. So that anaerobic capacity, we're looking to be able to ensure that they can consistently produce high power outputs throughout the entire 48-minute game. We'll also be able to recover effectively, and then that aerobic endurance is going to be able to increase the amount of force that they can push out throughout the end of that game. We're looking at some change of direction. So again, they have to be able to get into deep lateral positions and quickly move laterally. Upper and lower body strength. So that's going to be super important for being able to push off defenders or push off attackers and be able to use your body as a force to be able to get baskets or defend your basket and retrieve rebounds. Lower body power. So with all the jumping, the more power that they're able to produce in different positions, the more effective they can be and the higher they can get up, and they'll just be able to out explosiveness their opponents. We're looking at shoulder stability as our last one. So there's a lot of overhead movements within the sport of basketball, so ensuring that they have a lot of shoulder stability when it comes to reaching overhead, making movements overhead, as well as just coming in contact with other players with their shoulder. Some technical abilities, they're going to have to be able to sprint, defend, shoot, pass, jump, and then change directions quickly. Some common injuries and prevention. So some common injuries we have ankle sprains and strains, and our prevention is going to be calf strengthening and ankle stability. So our calf strengthening can look like movements such as our calf raise, either seated or a bent knee. And then our ankle stability, we can look at calf raise isos, where we have to stabilize a little bit more while being able to resist the force, as well as a split squat iso with that front heel elevated, so as similar to a calf raise position where that ankle has to be able to provide more stability in a bit of a different position there. Knee injuries, so a lot of those will be ACL, could be any sort of injury regarding the joint. For that, our prevention, we're going to look at lower limb strengthening with full range of motion. So that could be our deep front squats, that could be isometrics as well. So it could be our wall sit, it could be our split squat iso. Any sort of squat movement where we're completing full ranges of motion is going to help support that knee by, one, just providing muscular support and supporting that joint, and 2, ensuring that the athlete is capable of getting in those deep ranges if they are forced to it into that sport. Number 3, shoulder injuries. So again, with that overhead, it's going to happen quite frequently. And what we're looking here is we're looking to strengthen our shoulder and then provide more shoulder stability. So strengthening our shoulder, again, we're looking at full range of motion overhead movements. And then, so that could be something such as the overhead press, could be a military press. And then we're also looking at shoulder stability. So that's going to be strengthening the rotator cuffs and ensuring that it's moving effectively and we have our shoulder blade effectively rotating around our rib cage. So that's could be a movement such as the face pull, where we're focusing on external rotation. Number 4, we're looking at Achilles tendinopathy. So that can happen a lot with all the jumping and landing. Quite a bit of damage done, quite a bit of stress put on the Achilles tendon. Commonly an overuse injury will cause that. So kind of our biggest prevention is ensuring we have proper load management, and then also strengthening the calves and improving mobility. So improving mobility within the ankle can better ensure that that ankle isn't being stressed past what it needs to be. Strengthen our calves. We're looking at our calf raises, again, both straight and bent knee. And then we're improving that ankle mobility. So that could be the our wall calf stretch, something such as that. And then also some ankle stability there would be pretty effective to help as well. So that could be our calf raise isos or a split squat with our heel elevated iso. Number 5, lower back pain. So that can come from a lot of rotation and cutting. And then just overall using the core a lot in terms of stabilizing throughout a lot of movements and physical contact. So some things that can help with that would be our rotational and anti-rotational core work. So that could be our pull-off press. It could be our rotational pull-off, where we're extending and then rotating. It could be our chops. And then we also could include some glute strengthening to ensure we are efficiently supporting the area around as well. So our glute strengthening could be something like our clamshells. It could be our RDL is going to be a pretty decent exercise for ensuring we're doing that as well. Number 6, hamstring strains. A lot of running, a lot of sprinting. It's pretty common for any sport that has a lot of running involved. Some prevention there is ensuring we have nice strong hamstrings, so we can do RDLs, we can do eccentric slider curls, single leg RDLs, and then also ensuring we have proper hamstring mobility, so we're not limited in that range. So we can do things such as our banded leg extension or banded hamstring stretch, where we have that band placed around our foot, we're laying supine and we have some tension there. We could also just do our sit and reach. That's also a pretty good mobility exercise to ensure our hamstrings are moving quite